Game Nexus Mame review. Today we're going to be taking a look at a game called Outfoxies, released by Namco in 1994 on the Namco system NB-2 hardware. In the beginning here, of course, it tells you all about your different characters who appear in this game. So you get the whole backstory about what they did, what they're doing, why they're even in this game, or why they're in this contest. I always found that weird lizard creature on the girl's back. But I guess it works. I'm guessing it's translating part of it into Japanese on the side of the screen there, because you see all the kanji there. And Mr. Acme. This game is actually a rather unique game in my opinion, as I've seen a lot of different games in the past where they're just your typical arcade games, but this game is actually very unique in the way that it's not a shoot 'em up, it's not a fighting game, but a like a platform versus shoot 'em up. In one respect, this game actually reminds me of
You did a great job. Your next target is... I offer you 800,000. Which then let you find him on the plains to the south. He plans on stealing valuable munitions there. Proceed with caution.
You got to hear the whole explanation of your mission there. For some unknown reason, the voice in the background in this game runs a little bit slower than it should. It could also be the capture slowing it down a little bit more, but overall the action runs just as quickly as it should. As I was saying, this is a platform shoot 'em up game. In a respect, it reminds me a little bit of Super Smash Brothers, in the way that you pick up different weapons and stuff to fight each other, whereas you can also just punch each other as well. Only thing I have to say about this game is, when you're playing this game, make sure you're playing it on a large enough screen that you actually can see what's going on, because if you have this on like a 13-inch screen, the problem is, just like a lot of games of this type, it zooms out of the action to capture both characters in it, so if you're playing this game on a really small screen, it's going to be really hard to see what your tiny little character is actually doing. And here, for some reason, I'm trying to beat a monkey. The rocket launcher is a very good weapon, in my opinion, especially because you could just blast your enemy with it. And as you can see, once you get rid of the weapon, you can also throw it at your enemies, so that hurts them a little bit too, of course.
Rocket launcher.
Sadly enough, this very unique game got no console releases. Not a single time did this get released on any console. And I'm just blown away this monkey here. And that's another thing you gotta be careful of. Just like in a game like Unreal Tournament or similar, if you're using the rocket launcher and you're too close to a wall or the other character, you'll end up hurting yourself, of course, because just like in real life, if a rocket blows up and you're by it, it's gonna hurt.
Rocket launcher.
And that's all for the monkey.
1.
Now the gun shoots the screen to tell you that you won. And it shows you all your rewards and non-rewards.
Kill your enemy by any means.
I think that's kind of cool how he's like, kill your enemy by any means. And as you can see right there, I was able to do some hand-to-hand combat with my enemy.
Gun.
There's a lot of regular handguns, which usually have, around 6 or 7 bullets. So, you know, they have limited use, which is good, because if a gun had too many bullets, then one player could just sit there and keep on shooting the other, and, you know, we all know who would win, of course. I love all the stuff you can pick up in this game and attack your enemies with. And I think it's I think, as I mentioned earlier, it's very unfortunate that this game didn't get on a console. I personally think this would be great for like a PlayStation Network, Xbox Live Arcade release, because it would be great if you had online play in this game and you could verse your other character in online play. Of course, there's various versions of Mame that are able to do that, but nothing would have the infrastructure of something, let's say, Xbox Live, which just has a better overall infrastructure for playing a game such as this online. And this is another thing that reminds me of a game like Power Stone 2, where various hazards in the level as you're going on will actually cause your characters to either get hurt or inconvenienced. Like you see the floor falls out here. Earlier there was water, just like in Power Stone 2, where one level you were fighting on subs and the subs submerged, so you had to jump to the other sub. So I think those environmental things are really cool. And then John Smith died because I set him on fire, so that's good. And now it shoots him in the screen, so we know he's dead. I'm guessing the hospital bill is the amount of money it would cost to actually make your character better after all this stuff.
Kill your enemy by enemy.
And the cool thing about the characters is you can see they all have different moves, different agility. So the characters are very varied in that way. And there goes another thing about the environmental hazards. I just fell right off the train and had to be ferried back by another guy in one of those little train cars. The AI on occasion can be pretty cheap with some of the weapons, as you can see. He just keeps rolling back and forth and shooting me with the gun. So that does get a little bit annoying. But overall, Outfoxies is a very cool game. Not many people probably have heard of this game since it was an arcade-only release, but I highly recommend it to fans of shooters, fans of action games. It's just a really overall fun game. It feels kind of like Super Smash Bros. And Power Stone combined, and it's just a really good time, and it's very much worth your time. This has been another Game Nexus Mame review, and I shall see you later.